Alright, some medium hard Latin, I guess you'd call it. 7. The alimenta, which we accept, the food that we receive, for as long as, quem dea, it perseveres in its state of quality. And it innatans, which is used for swimming or floating, so it's floating solid, the alimenta, it's solid. It's a badly burden in the stomach, so if the food we eat, if it stays and floats around solid as it is, it's a bit of a burden in the stomach. At, which means but when from this, from what they were, they've mutated, when it's changed in the stomach from what it was, tum, then, demum, finally, into strength and blood. This food transients into it, changes, I guess you'd say. Idem usually means the same or likewise. Into these things, so we attribute or prestir, which means we'll give it or allow it in the same way which things are alonta, it's like that they nourish the ingenias, which are the character and your talents. So those things, quae cumpri, whatever they be that we horsemus, which we draw in, usually for breath or for drinking. So the things which we take in, for your character, you might say, we should not suffer these things to be integrate, to remain solid, as we had up here with food. So the elements we bring in for our character, we shouldn't let them to remain integral, lest because they're from some alien or outside source. But concoquita usually means for boiling down, or I guess when you're digesting things, digerium can mean digest, so it comes into a certain digestion in your mind, I guess. These things will boil down to when you take in thoughts. Alioquin, in Apuleius, it usually means generally, mostly it means otherwise. They're able to go into our memory and not into our ingenium. Okay, so when you read things, you remember them, but it doesn't necessarily become part of your character. Okay, digerium, disposition or arrangement. Looks like that all stands for Lewis Short, means digestion. There's no example sentences there, but we can use this as an example. 8. From all the things that we collect, from which one thing comes from all of them. So things we collect, it becomes one memory, I suppose, or one thing, it becomes in our minds. Just as one number happens from singular. So if you add 2 plus 2 plus 2, from all of these single numbers, we get 6. So one thing happens from all these separate things. Faciat looks like a subjunctive of let. Let this be the way it is in our mind, the way the mind works. All things which are a help in these things, let us abscond them, let them be hidden. So all the things that come together, we hide away. But nevertheless, ostendat, it shows this thing and what effect what it produces. If you can figure out how the mind's working, I suppose. So you put all these things in your brain and you'll show the outcome. There's a colon there. You probably put a comma. As qui, as those who conficiunt, usually means complete. Got that ficio bit in it. As those who make pigmented odours, so that would be pigments are usually something you put on your skin, like odours probably means here it's perfumes. Before all things, they take care that there is null of an odour appropriate belonging to it, which condiento, which is put on again. Something like salt and pepper, you use condiments, etc. And here I'll just use it as they don't want any specific odour. Because confusora means they're going to mix things up, confuse all the different smells in these odours that they make. Vitalicet, another adverb. All the juices, I think that space can go. All the juices of these odours, they come into one spiritum. I guess you could make that a smell, or you mix all these things. The person who makes perfumes, they mix it so it makes just one final smell from a mixture. So I guess he's mixing up here all the things that we bring into our bodies. They cook away like the stomach does with nourishment, and here he's comparing it all to a perfume maker. 9. Vid. You see how a chorus consists with voices of many. Makes sense. 1, nevertheless, is returned or given off from all of them. So you combine them all and you get una. Aliqua est. There's one there that's acute, so it's a sharp voice, maybe a high voice. Another's gravis, so probably heavy or deep. And another's media in the middle voice. These all add with the women to the man and a fistula. I guess that's a pipe here, like a tibula or something. In opponents, so they also place to all these sounds a pipe, I'm guessing. Ita. So thus, the voices lay hidden of the single person, illic there, and of all they appear. So you can't pick out a single voice when you've got this orchestra, but the sound of all happens. And fit, it happens. Consentus, so like a harmony from the dissonant. From all the different sounding voices, there's just one continuous sort of sound. 10. Such is this present work that I want. When you have neuters like opus, the adjectives look very nominative, but they're actually accusative. And tali, the E is from neuters as well. Okay, so many arts are in this, and many precepts or instructions. There are many examples of the ages, different periods, but they all come into one conspiracy, one breathing or one work. In quibus, in which, if nequi is a negative thing, so the things, if you are spurn, so if you spurn or disregard things cognita, known already to you, so if you don't aspurn, so these things, nor, that's nequi and nor are correlatives that go together. Once a sentence starts off negative, the things in it should remain negative. Nor the things which you're ignotor of, the things which you're ignorant of, if you don't avoid them, then here's the result. You will find, plurima, many things which may be either a pleasure to read or for culture if you have read them or you use them in your memory or you put them in your memory. 11. For nothing, I think, insertum's the neuter going with nihil, to this work. So that's dative, that's dative, that's dative. So I think nothing that's inserted in this work either is inutile for thinking, or it's difficult in perception. You can probably translate to something else. But other things in which there may be another comparative, vegeta is more brisk or beneficial for your ingenium. So makes your genius more active or something. Your memory more adminicula. Memory's stocked up with more knowledge probably. Your oratio, your type of speech is more solertia, which is cunning and skillful. Your sermo, that's the words used, more incorruptia. They're all comparatives. Except for, unless, Succubi, if there's some place where nos autos, those of us who are born under alien skies or under a different climate, it does not help, vena usually means the veins or the pulse or something like that, of the Latin language. I think he was born in Africa, I believe I read somewhere. Okay, so that's 11. 12. But from these, if yet, or nevertheless, but by chance, looks like quibus means to certain people, non-numquens means some, you got the negatives cutting each other out, so that if there's some time and will, there shall be to cognoscere these things, to get to know these things. So if by chance to certain people there's opportunity to have some time and will of wanting to know it, we should want that the thing that is sought is obtained in petratum, so that to the aequi, probably means the fair and good, they can take good counsel, or they can consider it all fair and good, these people. If in our sermon, referring to his own tongue here, in his own way of speaking, there is a desiderate, means there's a longing with the native elegance of the Roman tongue. So he's learnt Latin from a separate language, and he's just hoping that there's something's not missing or longing, I'm guessing he's going to say. And one more, 13. Sed ne ego incautious sum. So that's a perfect. So, but I was incautious. What's this ne about? There's also an interjection ne. I don't think it is. I think it's just a general negative. Qui, I guess that's himself. So he incurred the venustatum. That's like the a beautiful, charming sort of thing. Quondam means once upon a time, basically. So, lest I incur this charming reprehension, we'll take it even though it's genitive, of which was by Marcus Cato, who was once profecte in with the accusative, means towards A. Albinus. So Cato once made some sort of charming reprehension against A. Albinus, who with L. Licinius had been a consul. He, 14, Albinus, he scriptivated, he wrote Roman things in Greek way of speaking. In the first of his history, his scriptum S, he wrote to this sentiment that no one convenient to succendere. No one should be burning in or fit to be burning in his works if something in these books badly composed, leastly composed well, or less elegantly, they should be scriptum written. For sum, because I am, he said, a homo Romanus, a Roman man, born in Latium. And the Greek eloquence from us is very alien, because remember, he's a Greek man. This is the saying of Cato, I'm guessing, or whoever it was. And for this reason, ideo veniam and gratiam, he's asking for pardon and a bit of grace of their bad estimations of their thinking. Sequis, if something is of error, he's postulated, he's asked. So he's asked for their pardon and their grace for any bad thinking, basically, if he's erred. Okay, that'll do today.